again.
Like classic. And of course, inviting you.
Jun.
Okay. So now we are gonna be covering the armor of the Kelly gang. This is
Oh
what you've
shit.
been waiting for.
Putting on my armor.
Alright, in 1879, Australian bushranger and outlaw Ned Kelly devised a plan to create bulletproof armor and wear it during shootouts with the police. He and other members of the Kelly gang, Joe Byron, Steve Hart, and brother Dan Kelly, had their own armor suits and helmets crafted from plaid mailboards, either donated by sympathizers or stolen from farms. The boards were heated and then beaten into shape over the course of several months, most likely in a crude bush forge and possibly with the assistance of blacksmiths. While the suits successfully repelled bullets, their heavy weight made them cumbersome to wear, and the gang debated on their utility. Alright, for the inspiration, there are two main theories for the inspiration for the armor. One is that members of the gang had witnessed performers wearing Chinese armor during a uh, carnival procession through the streets of Beechworth in 1873. The gang also had a network of Chinese sympathizers, and Byron, who grew up with Chinese near Chinese camps on the goldfields, were reported to have been fluent in Cantonese. The other theory is that Ned got the idea from his favorite book, R.D. Blackmore's L'Oran Don, 1869. Set in the 17th century England, the novel is about a family of outlaws and in one part describes them on horseback wearing iron plates on breast and head.
Aw, hell yeah. I bet it was
Another
that.
another story is that Ned saw and drew a suit of armor during a visit to the Melbourne Museum. What is widely accepted is that the idea in discussion to wear armor was Ned's. Alright, the
I
design.
like the middle.
Yeah, I want him to be reading a book and being like, hell yeah. The gang's armor was made out of iron and a quarter of an inch thick, each consisting of a large breastplate, shoulder plates, back guard, an apron, and helmet. The helmet resembled a tin can without a crown and included a long slit for the eyes. The suit's separate parts were strapped together on the body, while the helmet was separate with the internal leather straps that straddled the head, keeping the massive weight off of collarbones and the shoulders, also allowing it to be removed easily. Ned Kelly's armor weighed 44 kilograms or 97 pounds. His suit was the only one to have an apron on the back, but all four had front aprons. Padding is only known from Ned's armor and is not clear if the other suits were similarly padded. Ned wore a padded skull cap and his helmet also had an internal strapping so that his head could take some of the weight. After the shootout, there were 5 bullet marks on the helmet, 3 on the breastplate, 9 on the back plate, and one on the shoulder plate. Although no bullets actually penetrated the armor, each bullet to Ned's helmet caused massive bruising,
Oh,
lacerations, and
I bet.
disorienting percussion. All four men wore oilskin coats over the armor.
Hmm.
Alright, manufacturing the armor. The manufacture of the 4 suits took 4 or 5 months. 2 stolen cylindrical saws and iron tacks were tried and found not to be bulletproof. Melbournes for plowshares were ultimately adopted. It was likely that the first suit made was defective and was therefore discarded. According to legend, the armor was made on a stringy bark log by the gangs themselves. Due to the quality of the workmanship and the difficulties involved in forging, historians and blacksmiths originally believed the armor could only have been made by a professional blacksmith in a forge. A professional blacksmith would have heated the steel to over 1,000 degrees Celsius before shaping it. A bush forge could only reach 750 degrees Celsius, which would making the metal very difficult. In
You
2003,
see, I'm just imagining because they just I believe it is Australia where they just banned hentai, right? Hentai in general, and and then they start going soon. I think they'll start going after then the furry porn, and then we're gonna get a furry Ned Kelly who's gonna make an iron fursuit. he's gonna he's gonna fight the government. That's what I want to see. I want a Ned Kelly-esque fursuit to exist.
Oh my god. In 2003, Byron's suit of armor was disassembled and tested by ANSTO at the Lucas Heights nuclear reactor in Sydney to determine how the armor was made and what temperatures were involved. The results indicated that the heating of the metal was patchy. Some parts had been bent cold, while other parts had been subjected to exterior extended periods in a heat source of not much more than 700 degrees Celsius, which is consistent with the Bush forge theory. The quality of forging was also determined to be less than believed, and it was considered unlikely to have been done by a blacksmith. The Bush forge theory is now widely accepted. After heating, the mold boards were likely beaten straight over a green log before being cut into shape and reverted together to form each individual piece. The Hybrid Mercury reported that Glenwarren District blacksmith Joan Gregg had made the armor from parts of the plows and harvest machines while watched by Ned and Diane Kelly. Ned paid for Gregg's work in gold souvenirs. Gregg immediately told the authorities about it and was told to keep the cash as he had earned it honestly. This information did not become known until Gregg's death in 1934, as authorities apparently did not want details known to the public, and apart from its mention to Gregg's 1934 obituary, the story remained relatively unknown.
Hey.
Alright, the Glenwarren shootout. The Victorian police were told about the armor 3 times by informants, but Hare and Sadler both dismissed the information as nonsense and an impossibility. None of the police realized the gang were wearing armor until Ned fell. The police even questioned whether he was human. Constable Arthur was who was closest, thought he was a huge black fellow wrapped in a blanket. Somehow, someone exclaimed, "He is a madman." Doubt said, "He is the devil." Sergeant Kelly exclaimed, "Look out, boys!
Uh,
He is the Bu- bunyip? Bunyip? Hold on.
I'm
What
sure it's
is
something
a
Australian.
the bunyip is a large mythical creature from Australian original mythology, said to lurk in swamps, billybogs, creeks, riverbeds, and watering holes. Oh, that's something. Add that to the list.
Oh. But what is he naughty though?
It's a
Yeah, he's
cryptid.
going on the list.
It's a cryptid. That's all it's got to. That's all it takes.
What's it called?
Uh, the Binyip. Bunyip.
Huh. Bunyip.
Binyip.
A fucking bunyip. You, you bone lip. You bone yip.
Oh,
Probably
no
some sort of weird.
way! Constable Gascoigne, who recognized Ned's voice, told subordinate Sadler he had fired at him point blank and hit him straight in the body. But there is no use firing at Ned Kelly. He can't be hurt. Although unaware of the information supplied by the informant prior to the siege, Sadler later wrote that even after Gascoigne's comment, no thought of armor had occurred to him.
Oh yeah, we got Gascoigne. We got
Hell yeah!
hunters. They're coming for Ned Kelly.
Aftermath and ownership. Following the siege of Glenrowan, the media reported the events and use of the armor around the world. The gang were admired in military circles, and Arthur Conan Doyle commented on the gang's imagination and recommended similar armor for use by British infantry. The police announcement to the Australian public that the armor was made from pogshares was ridiculed, disputed, and deemed impossible even by blacksmiths. There was considerable debate over whether to destroy the armor, but all four disassembled suit was eventually stored in Melbourne. Hare gave Ned Kelly's armor to
Oh
Sir
shit.
William Clark. Yes.
Oh,
I can't do
I don't know. I
nothing
feel like
until
we should
Buddy.
go for it.
I can't. Buddy hasn't picked his piece yet. The constable was
Who?
debated over.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, but it's not gonna have Buddy.
There
Yes.
we go.
Hare gave Hare gave Ned Kelly's armor to Sir William Clark, and it was later donated to the State Library of Victoria. Byron's was kept by Hare and now belongs to the latter's descendants. Don Kelly's and Hare's are still owned by the Victorian Police Force. As no effort was made to maintain the armor's integrity while stored, the suits were reassembled by guesswork. In 2002, several parts were identified from photographs taken shortly after the siege and reunited with their original suits. The SLV was able to exchange Hart's breastplate for Ned Kelly's, making Ned Kelly's suit currently the most original. In January 2002, all four suits were displayed together for an exhibition in the Old Melbourne Gallo. And that is the armor of Ned
Oh,
Kelly.
nice. Oh yeah. Want that armor? Oh,
So,
nice.
oh, what's the odds of that? We
I'm
are
sure with a
going
little
to be on
algebra we
the
got it.
final stand, the last stand.
Hell yeah, last fucking stand.
Last
Gonna take
stand
him
and
out.
capture. And the dim
No,
and
I
this
won't.
now I'm gonna
Bang.
catch you up.
Dang.
Okay, so they disappeared for a while and they was inactive for a while, and then they randomly popped up to some dude's house that was an informant, and dude had some cops in the back room, and
Oh.
not actual Ned, his brother Dan and Byron shot the dude and ran, and the cops are now went to you know, now there was a shootout at Glenrowan, and this is how it all ended up. This is where it ended up.
Hmm.
Kelly's wounded and in the woods and everything right now.
Yeah.
In the dim light of dawn, Kelly, dressed in his armor and armed with 3 handguns, rose out of the bush and attacked the police from the rear. Several members of the scattered police line returned fire, but to no effect as Kelly moved steadily through the morning mist towards the hotel, his armor repelling bullets. The size and shape of the armor made him appear inhuman to the police, and his apparent invulnerability caused onlookers to react with superstitious awe. Constable Arthur, the first policeman to encounter Kelly, recalled, "I was completely astonished and could not understand what the object I was firing at was. One trooper exclaimed that it was a Bonnaby and could not be killed. A civilian volunteer cried out that it was the devil." Journalist Tom Corning wrote, "With the steam rising from the ground, it looked for all the world like the ghost of Hamlet's father, with no head, only a very long, thick neck. It was the most extraordinary sight I ever saw and read of in my life, and felt fairly spellbound with wound and could not stare or speak."
Damn.
Kelly began laughing as he shot at and taunted the police and called out to the remaining outlaws to recommence firing, which they did. The strange contest continued for almost 10 minutes. Kelly, weakened by blood loss, managed to advance 50 or so yards, at times stopping to change weapons or regain his composure after taking a bullet to the armor, the sensation being like blows from a man's fist. After diving to the ground to avoid one of Kelly's shots, Sergeant Steele realized that the figure's legs were unprotected. He shot at them twice with his shotgun, tearing apart Kelly's hip and thigh. The outlaw
Damn.
staggered, then collapsed against a fallen tree and moaned, "I'm done, I'm done." Steele went to
No.
disarm him, but Kelly fired once more, blowing the sergeant's
Oh
hat off
yeah.
and burning the side of his face. Several others
Yes.
assisted Steele in removing the armor and expressed shock upon discovering that it was Kelly. He became quiet and shot in the left foot, left leg, he became quiet. Shot in the left foot, left leg, right hand, left arm, and twice in the region of the groin. Although no bullet had penetrated his armor, he was carried to the railway station, placed in a guard's van, and then taken to the station master's office, where a doctor dressed his wounds.
Nice. Well, I like that he got one little last shot in and it didn't kill the dude. It just so it's like the
Just
cartoon like Like when they shoot through the hat and then they like
Oh,
takes it off and it just like it's the hair's parted.
that's totally what happened though.
Oh, that's
Uh,
great. That old Kelly.
In the meantime, the siege continued. The female hostages confirmed that Dan and Hart was still alive in the hotel. They kept shooting from the rear of the building during the morning. At 10 a.m., a white flag and handkerchief was held out at the front door, and immediately afterwards, about 30 male hostages emerged. While Dan and Hart defended the back door, the police ordered the hostages to lie down and were checked one by one. Two of the hostages were arrested for being known Kelly sympathizers. Oh, fuck off.
Nah, you can't arrest someone for having fucking feelings. Unless they're a communist.
Fire and aftermath. Okay. By the by the afternoon, Dan and Hart had ceased shooting. Unwilling to allow his men to storm the hotel, subordinate Sadler telegraphed to Melbourne for an Oh my god. Oh my fucking subordinate Sadler telegraphed to Melbourne for an artillery cannon to be sent up
Yep.
by special train to obliterate the outlaws. At a 12-pound
Just shoot him with a cannon!
a 12-pounder Armstrong gun made it as far as Sidmore when Sadler decided to set fire to the hotel instead and received permission from the Chief Secretary Robert Ramsey. Under cover fire, Senior Constable Charles Jones of Violent Town placed a bundle of burning straw at the hotel's west side. Kate Kelly, Ned and Dan's sister, appeared on the scene. Around this time, she endeavored to make way to her brothers, but the police ordered her to stop. A light wrestling wind carried the flames into the hotel, and it rapidly caught alight. Matthew Gibney, a priest from Western Australia, entered the burning structure in an attempt to rescue anyone inside. He discovered the bodies of Dan and Hart, who he surmised had committed suicide. Whether they died in a suicide pact or by other means remains a mystery. Caught hours earlier in police
Press X.
crossfire. What are you doing?
Oh, it's just us. Aw, man, they all dipped out.
Yeah, they dipped.
I think the connection was weak is the problem.
Maybe.
Because I know mine was lagging and I think everyone else was lagging.
I don't think it was lagging. But
It was lagging on my end. It would always freeze on the dice for like a really long time.
Alright, one second. He discovered the bodies, whether they died, caught hours earlier in police crossfire. Hostages Martin Cherry, an old plate layer of the district, was found dying from a groin wound and promptly taken outside when Gibney gave him the last sacrament. Cherry succumbed within half an hour. Another hostage, quarryman Greg Metcalf, was shot in the face and died from the wounds several months later. While he claimed it was an injury from police fire, more recent research indicates that Ned accidentally shot him the day prior to the siege. Oh,
Whoops.
I like how though he was such a sympathizer though. He was like, oh no, the fucking cop shot me.
It's okay, Ned. This is not the first bullet. Add them to the collection I have in my spine.
During the siege, John Jones, the 13-year-old son of the hotel's landlady, was shot in the hip by police crossfire, dying the following day at Wingretta Hospital. His elder sister, Jane, received a head wound during the siege from a stray bullet and later died from a lung infection that her mother believed was hastened by the injury, bringing the civilian death toll to 4. Another 3 civilians were wounded by police fire. Charles Rowan, a volunteer with the police, Michael Reardon, son of the line repairer who tore up the tracks, and Bridget Riordan, Michael's baby sister. An aboriginal tracker also had a narrow escape with a bushranger's bullet grazing his forehead. Subordinate Hare retired from the force following the shootout, and owing to his bullet wound received an additional allowance of £100 per annum. A-N-N-U-M?
Alright.
He was appointed a police magistrate. All that remained standing of the hotel was the lamppost and the signboard. Byron's body was strung up in Bellingham as a curiosity. His friends asked for the body, but the police instead secretly interred it at night in an unmarked grave in Bellingham Cemetery. The charred remains of Don and Hart were taken to Greta and buried by their families in unmarked graves in the local cemetery 30 kilometers east of Bellingham. And now we will be on the trial and execution of Ned Kelly.
No! Not the execution. Couldn't you just like put him on like house arrest or something?
And there are aftermath and lessons and remains and we could get to cover the remains and graves. And if you want, we can also do the cultural impact.
Ooh. Yeah. Cover it all.
So the trial and execution.
Ooh, nice.
Give me a second.
You good?
Alright. Kelly survived to stand trial on October 19th, 1880 in Melbourne before Sir Redmond Barry, the judge who had earlier sentenced Kelly's mother to 3 years in prison for the attempted murder of Fitzpatrick. Mr. Smith and Mr. Cholmondeley appeared for the Crown and Mr. Biddon for the prisoner. The trial was adjourned to October 28th when Kelly was presented on the charge murdering Constable Lagan and Constable Scanlon. He was never charged with the murder of Sergeant Kennedy. He was charged with the various bank robberies, the murder of... Oh, that's fucked!
Oh, what? I didn't catch that last bit.
He was charged for the murder of fucking Sheraton. Sheraton, he wasn't even fucking there! He wasn't
Yeah.
even fucking there!
Boo.
That was his
This
fucking
little
younger
humbleman.
brother. That was his fucking younger brother. That's bullshit.
Hmm.
He also was charged for resisting arrest at Glen Warren and
Well, I mean, that's probably
with a
true.
long list of minor charges. He was convicted of the willful murder of Lenegon and sentenced to death by hanging. After handing down the sentence, Barry concluded with the customary words, "May God have mercy on your soul," to which Kelly replied, "I will go a little further than that and say, I will see you there where I go."
Oh, damn.
Oh, shit.
He's always got the good
Yeah,
last words to say.
and the good one, it's always a good one-liner, too.
He just leaves him like, oh, can't even. Even when we win, we can't win. Ooh, thank you. Oh,
Ah, fuck off.
you shouldn't be so frivolous with your spending. Like, you don't have to give me a gift when you're in such dire straits. I mean, come on, man. Ooh, nice. Land on more properties.
On November 3rd, the Executive Council of Victoria decided that Kelly was to be hanged 8 days later, November 11th, at the Melbourne Gully. In the week leading up to the execution, thousands turned out on the street rallies across Melbourne demanding a reprieve for Kelly, and on November 8th, a petition for clemency with over 32,000 signatures, some of which were of a suspicious nature, was presented to the governor's private secretary. The Executive Council announced soon after that the hanging would proceed as scheduled. Fucking assholes.
Tisk tisk. Oh, damn.
No, you got your monopoly.
No, you got your monopoly.
No.
Oh, wait. Oh.
You
Oh, I
fucked
traded
up.
the wrong thing. No, the oranges! I was trading your favorites for my favorites.
And now I
It's
just
okay.
don't
We'll,
have to
we'll
get
make the
snake
trade
eyes.
once you get the. Just go and get those oranges.
Okay, good. I did not get snake eyes. But I got luxury tax.
Oh.
So have to mortgage this. And I'll mortgage Boardwalk, because that is not part of my plan. I never
Ooh.
care about Boardwalk. The day before his
Yeah.
execution, Kelly had his photograph portrait taken as a keepsake for his family, and he was granted farewell interviews with relatives. His mother's last words to him were reported to be, "Mind you die like Kelly." The following morning, John Cassidy, the governor of the Gully, informed Kelly that The hour of execution had been fixed at 10 a.m. Kelly leg irons were removed, and after a short time, he was marched out. He was submissive on the way, and when passing the gulls' flower beds, remarked, "What a nice little garden," but said nothing further until reaching the press room, where he remained until the arrival of Chaplain Dean Donaghy. Accounts differ about Kelly's last word. Some newspaper reporters write that it was such his life, while other newspapers record that this was his response when Cassidy told him of the intended hour of his execution earlier that day. The Agorist wrote that Kelly's last words were, "Ah, well, I suppose it has come to this," as the rope was placed around his neck. According to another account, Kelly intended to make a speech, but made no audible sound. The warden later wrote that Kelly, when prompted to say his last words, mumbled something indecipherable.
Aw.
Mm. So when was
So
he?
what?
So he was hanged. He was hanged on November 11th, 1880. He was only 25 years old.
Damn.
Yeah, and I have a sickening feeling this all started because a few people accused him of horse thievery, so he was like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah.
line with the practice of the day, no records were kept regarding the disposal of an executed person's remains. Kelly was buried in the Old Men's Yard, just inside the walls of Old Man Burns' Guns. A newspaper reported that Kelly's body was desecrated by medical students. My bad. A newspaper reported that Kelly's body was dissected by medical students who removed his head and organs for study. Dissection outside of coroner
Why?
inquiry was illegal. Public outrage at the rumor raised real
Oh,
fears
I
of
know why.
public disorder, leading the Commission of Police to write the Gulls governor, who denied that a dissection had taken place. Saw cuts on a piece of his unaccompanied bone received in 2011 confirmed that a dissection had been done. They fucking did do it. they, they,
Mm-hmm.
they lied about doing it, and yet there's still proof that they done it. Grave robbery. In 1929, Melbourne Gong was closed for routine demolition, and the bodies in the graveyard were uncovered during the demolition works. During the recovery of the bodies, spectators and workers stole skeletal parts and skulls from a number of the graves, including one marked with an arrow and the initials EK. In the belief they belonged to Ned Kelly, the EK marked grave was situated by itself and on the opposite side of the yard, where the rest of the graveyard was situated. The site foreman Harry Franklin retrieved the skull from the EK marked grave and gave it to the police. As no preservation had been made for the disposal of the remains, Franklin had the bodies reburied in Pentridge Prison at his own expense. The skull for the EK marked grave, which had been stored at the Victorian Penal Department, was taken to Canberra for research by the first director of the Australian Institute of Anatomy, Sir Colin Mackenzie in 1934. For a period of time it was lost, but was later found while cleaning out an old safe in 1952. In 1971, the Institute gave it to the National Trust. In 1972, the skull was put on display at the Melbourne Goal until it was stolen on December 12th, 1978. An investigation in 2010 proved that the displayed skull was in fact the one discovered in April 1929.
Damn. People just stealing straight up skulls out of museums.
Oh no, it wasn't even in. Well, yeah, that wasn't even in a museum. It was just displayed in the old prison.
Oh.
But yeah, that
Shit.
skull fucking had a journey.
Yeah.
Like his, and now with no telling where it's at. So some dude's just chilling with fucking Ned Kelly's skull.
Yeah. That'd be crazy to come across just randomly.
And that's the story of Ned Kelly. We can go on the historical and forensic investigation of his remains.
Um, did they find anything?
On
I mean,
March 9th,
was there something
2008,
wrong with them?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. On March 9th, 2008, it was announced that Australian archaeologists believed they had found Kelly's grave on the site of Pentridge Prison. The bones were uncovered at a mass grave, and Kelly's were among those of 32 felons who had been executed by hanging. Jeremy Smith, a senior archaeologist with Heritage Victoria, said that we believe we have conclusively found the burial site, but that is very different from finding the remains. Ellen Howe, Kelly's then 62-year-old grandniece, offered to supply her own DNA to help identify Kelly's bones. On the anniversary of Kelly's hanging, November 11th, 2009, Tom Baxter handed the skull in his possession to police, and it was historically and forensically tested along with the Port Pentridge remains. The skull was compared to a cast of the skull that had been stolen from the old Melbourne in 1978 and proved to be a match. The skull was then compared to that in a newspaper photograph of worker Alex Talbot holding the skull recovered in 1929, which showed a close resemblance. Talbot was known to have taken a tooth from the skull as a souvenir, and a media campaign to find the whereabouts of the tooth led to Talbot's grandson coming forward. The tooth was found to belong to the skull, confirming that it was indeed the skull recovered in 1929. In 2004, before the skull was handed to police, a cast of the skull was made and compared to the death mask of the executed at Old Marylebone, which eliminated all but two. The two were those of Kelly and Ernest Knox, who was executed in March 1894. Headstone on Mark E.K. 19394 and buried near Frederick Deeming. Headstone marked with the initials A.W. and a D underneath. In April 1929, the skulls of the E.K. marked grave, which was thought of the time to be belonged to Kelly and Frederick Deeming, were looted from the excavated graves. The death mask of Knox and facial reconstruction of the cast of the skull was a close match. No, that's... Oh gosh. Nothing exciting was found. So there's a question whether if they even have the actual remains or not. Kelly remains a prominent Australian culture, folklore. So there's nothing. We're done with Ned Kelly. We finished Ned Kelly. it was a rough finish, but we did it.
Yeah.
I wonder what we'll cover next, though.
Um, shit. I mean, it depends on what type of thing, 'cause we got a good mix of things here. Let me actually, I'll look at some of them and I'll give you a brief summary and see what's interesting to you about
Uh,
that.
let let's go with something. Let's try to go with something kind of
That's what
light-ish.
yeah, that's what I think I have a good idea of light ones. Um,
Because the only ones that
let's
I know
see.
about is Lewis Hutchison, which that's one we're going to save. Clark
Oh yeah,
Brothers
definitely.
and Henry Eugene Hodges. With the Henry Eugene Hodges, that's gonna be a long one. That's one that I'm gonna have to do like we're gonna have to get an actual script together and everything for that one because that one's a special one.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a very special one. We might even have a special guest on the podcast for
Ooh.
that one.
Well, there's
Well, on the
Charles
stream.
Earl Bowles. Charles Earl Bowles, he's another outlaw, but I
Let's
believe
not do an outlaw.
but he was a gentleman outlaw.
Yeah, let's not do an outlaw though. And you got to do
Yeah.
something. You got to
Oh. Well then, let's
let's do
see.
more of a creature or
Like the Beast of Gevaudan, which was
maybe or a light serial kill like someone with a light kill count.
just hear me out. Beast of Gevaudan was
What's their kill count? Basically let's just base it on the kill count.
oh, you want kill count, huh?
Yeah, I do
Chimpanzee
want it to
Tiger's
have a
got
kill count.
400, over 400.
Oh yeah, let's not do that. Let's do a light.
Then there's the sorry, where is it? The Sankebetsu brown bear incident, which I believe was 7 deaths, and the beasts of Kavadan. It was a couple of I think it was I forget how many, but it was a decent amount, but not too many. And it was suspected to be wolves, but they weren't really sure. And the artist depiction shows like wolves, but with cattails, and so it's undecided of what they actually were
Hmm.
that were eating people in France. So there's either of those. In the Senketsu brown bear incident is the worst brown bear attack in Japan, at least.
Okay.
And it was like within that day it would attack 7 different people. It came out of
Ah,
hibernation, I think.
why you gotta pick something that happened in France or Japan though? The names I'm gonna have to pronounce.
Oh, and then there's Gustav the crocodile.
Gustav the
I
crocodile.
actually I don't actually remember too much of what it was even about him, but there's Gustav the crocodile
He
on this
actually
list.
intrigued me too, but let's let's save the animals for when we do for let's give the animals their own episode, not when we finish off.
Well, we got Vigilantes, the Bald Knobbers. We got um. Oh, we got Joe the Animal Barboza. He's a mafia guy, but he kind of displays some serial killer-esque things. He was extra violent.
Uh,
Then there's the Burari which were mysterious deaths. It was like a huge mass family suicide in India,
Oh
which
yeah, that's the one.
hmm,
That's the one.
the one what?
The Baru deaths. Barura deaths. Baruri.
Bur Burari, I think.
Yeah, the Burari. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's send me.
Send you Burari deaths?
Yeah.
Okay, one second.
Pay me.
Oh. Let me find, I guess, the article.
You just had to. I'll look it up.
Okay. Oh, enter.
All right. So there's not like a Murderpedia article or nothing. Alright, so this is the Burari's deaths. The Burari's deaths refers to the deaths of 11 family members of the Churndowant family from Burari, India in 2018. 10 family members were found hanged while the oldest family member, the grandmother, was strangled. The bodies were found on July 1st, 2018 in the early morning. Hey, it's your go, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
In the early morning after the death, the police have ruled the deaths as mass suicide with an angle of shared psychosis being investigated.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to cover this one. It's gonna be nice, short, sweet. Well, it's not
Nice.
sweet, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Alright. The Churdurant family, also known as Bahati family by neighbors, had been living in the double-story house in Burhari's Sant Nagri neighborhood for around 20 years after moving from their native town in Rajasthan. The family ran a grocery shop and plywood business in the area. The family included Nirina Diva, 77, sons Baiva, 50, and Lilet, 45, daughters-in-law Saveta, 48, and Tina, 42, daughter Parita Boyat, not 47, and grandchildren Priyak, 33, Nitu, older daughter of Brayef, 95, Manu, younger brother of Bryce, 23, Bruce, Brave, 15, Shivav, 15. Brev's older son had left home 3 years prior and was spared. In 2007, Lilette Short's father, Brave
Hey, with that
Saeed.
list of the connections of the family members, could you just screenshot that and send that to me?
Alright, yeah.
Just so I could, cause that'll have all the names back there. Just maybe if I can.
Should be sending now.
And also bid.
I'm butchering the names. Oh, my bad.
Oh, nice.
You you gotta announce what I'm reading.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second here, I'm getting there. I'm doing different things.
I think I'm gonna be bankrupt next turn.
Alright, so we got the family. We got Narayani Devi, that's, yeah, Bhavnesh, got Lalit, we got Savita, we got Tina, we got Pratibha Bhatia, uh, and then I guess that's like the maiden name there, which we won't worry about. Uh, Priyanka, daughter of, uh, Pri damn, this is like the fucking Bible.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's like not even the names that are throwing me off, it's all the connections. Like, I would think there's a simpler way to list this.
Yeah, it would be, but roll the dice.
Neat. Okay. I'll have it up, and when one of those people comes, we'll see how well I do the pronunciation.
Alright. In 2007, Lilette father's Boyup Sanipe died of natural causes. After the death of his fathers, Lilette became very introverted, and soon he started praying in front of trees and offering food to animals. One day he told his family that he was possessed by his father's soul, who to advised him the ways to attain a good life. Since 2013, he had been maintaining a diary on his father's instructions. Tommy, the pet dog of the family, was the only survivor in the house. He was chained on the terrace and suffering from high fever when the police found him after
No.
discovering the 11 bodies. It was not clear who had tied him. He was later said to have been convulsing at Noda's house of stray animals, where he was taken immediately after being rescued. Tommy died of a heart attack on Sunday, July 22nd, 2018.
Oh, is that within
That's
the
like
same year as this?
that's literally 10 days. No, not 10 days, my bad. That's 21 days after that happened.
I wonder if there's some kind of trauma. Like, I wonder what the fuck happened.
I don't know. I don't want to say this is a suicide, to be honest.
Mm.
Something about it, I know it, like, who the hell would be able to manage to hang 10 people, but you can get people to do a lot, at gunpoint or at night.
Yeah.
More importantly, I've discovered this, but more at knife point is actually when you have a more willing participant. Is when you put someone at knife point.
I'd probably fight more against the knife.
No, apparently, I don't know why, but when it comes to people being held at gunpoint, they're more likely to scream for help.
Mm-hmm. Weird. That seems like that'd be the opposite thing. I'd want to buy time with the guy for the gun, because all he has to do is pull the trigger.
But yeah, last podcast actually covers it in their latest episode.
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, it
I
was
guess
their latest.
maybe people think more about the pain of it.
Yeah, most likely that's what happens.
Which also it's still least painful than a gun. If the gun doesn't kill you, then it just totally rips up your insides. So that's gonna be still worse and breaks your bones. And
So on the morning of July 1st, around 7:15 a.m., neighbor Gurchuran Sain who used to go on morning walks with one of the deceased, went to the Churdant residence after noticing Lilette Churdant absent for the morning walk. as well as the fact that the shops were still not open. The shops usually opened 6 a.m. Sharians found the door of the house open and the 10 people, including Lynette, hanging. He raised an alert by calling other neighbors, and police received the call around 7:30. The door was open.
Damn. So, yeah, that's kind of sus, too.
10 of the 11 people, 2 men, 6 women, and 2 teens, were found hanging in the courtyard of the house. They were blindfolded and their mouths were taped. Some of the bodies had... fuck. Congratulations.
Oh.
Because you didn't. I told you to, but you didn't.
I didn't do what?
I said announce when I'm reading, but, you know...
I wasn't paying attention. I totally was not looking at the screen at all.
Playing a game and you're not looking at the screen, my ass.
I really am not. Did you not see me just give you that that Monopoly? That's how much I'm paying attention.
No, I didn't. I wasn't looking at the screen.
Cause you also were paying, yeah.
I was reading.
But I was grinding some weed.
Besides, it was only us two. It was getting boring. We need other people.
10 of the 11 people. No, we don't need anybody right now because we don't need to be distracted. We need to finish what we're covering first.
Oh, text facts, moral.
Pick your piece. 10 of the 11 people, 2 men, 6 women, and 2 teens were found hanging in the courtyard of the house. They were blindfolded and their mouths were taped. Some of the bodies had their hands and feet tied as well. Another woman, 77-year-old Naira Davy, was found dead in another room. It appeared that she had been strangled. The members were found hanging from the mesh in their ceiling in the hallway, all close together. Their faces were wrapped almost entirely, ears plugged with cotton, mouths taped, and hands tied behind the back. There were 5 stools properly shared by the 10 members, their faces covered with cloth pieces cut from a single bed sheet.
Alright, so what I think happened here was that the
definitely not
that
a
the
fucking
father,
suicide.
well, it was and it wasn't, and here's why. Because I remember I got this from from looking at a list of the other thing that they just covered on the last podcast, which was the madness of 2, or contagious madness, basically.
The
And so what I think
psychosis.
is that, yeah, so the father starts with the psychosis, and then he feeds it to the son believes it all, father kills himself, and then the son takes it upon himself to make sure that the family kills themselves. So basically he strangles the old lady, maybe he convinces some of the other ones to kill themselves, but he definitely tapes and kills the kids. Any of the people that have their faces covered or are covered to hide the shame so he doesn't have to look at them, maybe. That's what I'm trying to, maybe that's...
Yeah,
But there's...
I get where you're coming from, but
yeah.
I was thinking more of the
like
door
a Jim
being
Jones
open, though.
of like Jim
did he
Jones and the
literally
half
just
suicide, half...
yeah, but did he literally just walk into the house and just execute the plan? Like, yeah, I think he wouldn't have left the door wide open. That key.
Yeah.
That's the key part. Like no one probably is paying attention to is the door's wide fucking open.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but I think this was. I can't get the right words.
Like,
it wasn't like an occult killing or anything, but it was more of a ritualistic killing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm guessing the grandma walked in on whatever was going on, and that's why she was strangled.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure she
Like
was
she,
strangled in her
okay, so
chair, right? Like
ah,
she was sitting in her chair and then she was strangled while she was like in her chair.
the oldest, the 10 family oldest was strangled. Discovery of the bodies.
Or maybe it doesn't tell
Well, the
her
shop
where she
scope
was.
was found. I know she was found in a separate room.
Yeah, I thought it was like in her own room.
Was were hung while the oldest family member, the grandmother, was strangled. The bodies were found. Yeah, yeah. Police. Yeah, she was in a complete. She was in. She was strangled, and she was found in a
Mm-hmm.
completely different room.
Hmm.
So this is what, and I don't know how they would pull this off, but somebody was either he somehow got all 10 people, like he was holding them at gunpoint, or there was multiple people, like
Mm-hmm.
something was going down where these family members, either someone was hanging them one at a time, and the grandmother walked in at the wrong time and was like, oh shit, I gotta handle the grandmother real quick, or there was
Mm-hmm.
multiple people and they were being hung at gunpoint, and the grandmother walks in the front door, walks in, and the dude and someone freaks out, strangles the grandmother, and leaves the scene, and then just leaves them hanging like they're and they didn't and I'm guessing what happened was they didn't actually get to hang, like they didn't actually get to stay for the hanging, and someone tried to get down, and it just caused a chain reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was definitely something. Something tells me this was a very attempt of something extremely ritualistic, and grandmother interrupted it and had to flee the scene really quick.
Thinking.
That's how I think went down. But let's go with the investigation. Let's see if something else comes to
Yeah.
light.
Because
Police said
also the
that.
only yeah.
All right.
But
No, could go with what you were gonna say.
oh, I mean, and also like with all those people, it could be exactly like how one of those BTK murders were when he goes in and he like sees like the mom and he ties down the mom and stuff, and then like the kid walks in, he freaks out, then he quickly
Yeah,
ties the kid, and then the dad walks in, he's
and
oh
it's
shit,
just a
and
chain.
then
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it could be like that too.
So the police said the circumstances surrounding the deaths point to mass suicide for occult reasons or murder for occult reasons. Yeah, I definitely say
Hmm.
murder. I don't say suicide, because unless they come out that they found some murals, and police also investigating with the possibility of murder with a motive other than occult. In the early stages of investigation, police registered a murder case investigating it from every angle. Police found 11 diaries in the house, all of them maintained for the period of 11 years. Joint Commissioner of Police Alek Kumar stated, we have found handwritten notes detailing how hands and legs are to be tied in a quite similar to the manner in which the bodies of 10 persons were found. Oh, see, okay,
Mm.
they were exhaustive notes, and we are studying them. Details and directions provided in the diaries matched how the bodies were found, with their faces covered, mouths taped, and cotton balls in ears. The diary also mentions everyone will tie their own hands when the cure ritual is done. Then everyone will help each other untie their hands, signify the family was not expecting to die. Okay, so this is a stretch, and this is just a random ass. I don't have any basis, but the stature of these, and we still, this could have been just random, I want to know the diaries, but because it's probably a completely different cult. But this could be some random final people of the Knights of the Solar Temple.
Oh.
The
Or
Order
something.
Of the, yeah. Or something
like that.
Yeah, something similar to it.
Well, it's definitely because I know the only other cults. I mean, there's definitely a shit ton of cults in India. It's pretty ripe with them, especially with all the gurus that got their start there during the hippies during the 60s, because all the hippies would go over there, and then if you're just an Indian guy, you could just say that you're spiritual and just trick a bunch of white people into. That's why actually have on the list. That's actually who Rajneesh is when he had his cult, Rajneesh Param. It was exactly that exact story. But this is different.
Yeah, this is. I wish
I'm still pointing towards the kid, to the son.
I get you.
I think everyone did participate in the weird little ritual because they're probably introduced to that weird type of shit with the dad anyway, and he hadn't killed him yet, So maybe that was just, maybe even the son had special instructions from the dad that it's like, all right, you do the ritual, you make sure.
10 of them, 10 out of the only one that didn't have any instructions was the one that was strangled, and that's the one key that's.
But I'm talking about secret instructions, like because they said that the things that they said that they'd untie each other, and that indicated that they actually didn't know that they're gonna die, right?
No, there was nothing about untying each other. It was
okay.
They would tie themselves up. No one would tie. So and that makes no sense. Who's the last person? So, oh shit. Okay, so yeah, this is some occult thing, and Grandma was the last person to do it. Grandma was in charge. Grandma was definitely the one in charge. So she got everybody to fucking hang themselves, and she was, of course, she had to be the last one, and she just strangles herself, and that's a done. It was.
They'd be able to know if she strangled herself. That'd be very.
Well, they didn't say
specific.
They didn't say if she was strangled.
If she strangled herself, it would be in the report.
You would say
if she strangled herself.
It
would be unique enough that would be totally, because that would.
Whoa! Oh shit! Oh, I did not see that. Oh, dude. Whoa! I'm looking. Oh, dude, I was looking at Google Photos. Oh shit! Whoa! Crime scene photo.
Oh, they got it?
Oh yeah. Oh shit!
Looking it up.
Oh. Oh. That is. Oh, that was. I thought I would have to oof.
They're really all bunched up.
Yeah. So I'm going more. This wasn't ritualistic at all. I'm going with ritualistic murder, and it's your go, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm going with your. I'm going with your.
Sharing it and all some real
I'm.
shit.
I'm going. I'm going with your theory that it was some BTK shit.
Mmm. It doesn't look too
'Cause
unlike BTK, that's for sure.
there's no rhyme or reason whatsoever. I can already go ahead and tell you because I was desperately wanting. And they said the courtyard. That doesn't look like no courtyard. The courtyard of the house. You know how there's certain houses that have that middle section that's got
Yeah,
no
yeah.
seal. Yeah, they said that it was no. That doesn't look. That looks like a closet.
It's not a closet, definitely not. You have to keep in mind that even with some of the well-off Indian people, their
Yeah.
houses are way smaller.
Yeah, gotcha.
Especially if it's in the city. I mean, I don't know what Burari is like.
I still don't see how
It
that's the
looks
courtyard.
semi-industrial. Um, and also looking at everything, actually, a lot of things seem very open, and then they have like, oh, okay, yeah, there is a little opening. No, it's
Okay.
weird. It's a weird layout. It's because there's like the
Is your roll?
sending you a picture of the side of it. Yeah, I'm rolling. Yeah. Skip the animation.
And if it was more ritualistic, they would there would be more significance to the material they used to hang. That there would be. I mean, one person's literally just hung. Ooh, yeah, that's a weird. That's a weird building. Okay.
Yeah, they don't like regulations and stuff are a bit more looser and stuff there.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely
maybe
going
like a
with.
BTK thing.
Yeah, I'm going with BTK. I'm going with a. When it comes to a cult, there's more organization to it, you know. It
Yeah.
just seems more sporadic than what a mass suicide usually is. Usually there's actual time and planning and you gotta do talking 11 different people into suicide. That's not something you can do in 10 days.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
even if they are closely related and have the same traits and everything, their mindsets and everything, it's 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 very daunting task to do it in fucking 11 days
Mm.
to do it and not 11 days. How godly, I gotta pull it back up. How many days was it since the suicide? Not the suicide, the death of the background. In 2007, one day since 2013, he had been maintaining a diary. Yeah, so his dad died in 2007. I'm guessing in 2013 he started maintaining the diaries, and for 5 years. So he had time,
Mm.
but how it seems like they literally just was like, well, this is the day, get your shit to get whatever you can, and let's do it.
Mm. Mm.
It just doesn't seem there's not enough ritual to it for it to be a cult.
Mm. But also,
And
with
I just don't see
with
how.
but
I
also
get shared
it's not
psychosis.
cult like what I'm yeah, the shared psychosis would be more
But
than the cult because then you don't then you have the disorganization, you
yeah,
know.
but
Then you have the panic. Then you have
can
the,
11 people? Well, not even that. Can 10 people share a psychosis? And who killed the grandma?
I think it was 6 people have before. They didn't commit suicide, but they ran away from home, then scattered all across of Australia, and like were found all like in homeless and paranoid, like scattered around Australia from just the father going crazy. But
Well, this is in India.
yeah. This is in India, which there's a lot of other stressful environments there. You know what I mean? It's impoverished country. There's a lot of superstition.
Yeah, I don't. I just.
Like
I don't know. It's just
and
it's extremely unorganized for it having for diaries to be kept about it. Like
mm,
everybody, this says everybody like the people that hung themselves. Each of them had their own diary.
yeah, which I think also kind of gives some evidence towards that because they could have been told to keep diaries by like for like a long time, even like by the father earlier or by the son who's continuing the delusion. I mean, and this it's if with a family that prioritizes a patriarch. That's what you'll find that with these family ones. It's always the patriarch that goes insane, and then everyone follows suit because it's sort of like an instinctual, like we got to follow the leader type of thing. So
But yeah,
I don't
they found
I don't think it's
11. Okay,
I still think it's more likely for a BTK-ish thing, but I don't think it's as
and they kept them.
impossible.
Okay, so I went back and read this. They found 11 diaries in the house, and all of them were maintained for the period of 11 years. So
Yeah.
they all from the
I think this has been
start
going. I think this has been cooking for a while. I think this
since
is.
the suicide, since the death of the patriarch. Literally
Yeah.
11 years. The dude died in 2007, and this happened in
Mm,
2018. So, and
yeah.
they were keeping the diaries for extensive. So, literally, the head of the family dies, and the fucking rest of the family for 11 years just planned on how they would go with him.
Yeah. I think that's totally possible.
The only things that bother me is one of them clearly didn't go with the plan. And the
Yeah,
fucking
maybe
front
she.
door. I know I'm probably focusing way too much on the front door being open, but that's a big fucking detail for a bunch of people to be committing mass suicide to just leave their fucking front door open for someone to come in and save them? Did
Maybe
they not
or
think about that? Did they not think that, hey, if we leave the front door open and leave some commotion, someone might actually come and check?
mm, that is true, but also with the grandma thing, maybe she wasn't quite in on it. They didn't want to bring her in on it, and then it was sort of. I just read on the mass shooting ones. It was trying to think of the bell tower sniper. I was in Texas a long time ago. Well, he killed his wife and his mother out of because he didn't want them to be embarrassed and didn't want to bring shame onto them from his shooting spree at the bell tower. So before he went to the bell tower to go shoot everybody, he killed his wife and his mother and to save them pain, but also he stabbed him a shit ton of times. So, but there's still that like I'm saving you from this.
Yeah, I gotcha.
We're gonna be together in the afterlife anyway. But the whole death process is the worst part. If I just strangle you, it'll take you by surprise. It'll be over in a little bit, and we'll be together in
They
the
have
afterlife.
CT. They have CCT. They have CCTV fucking footage.
They do?
Yeah, I don't know of what really. It can't be of the actual suicide.
I mean, is it just at the crime scene?
I guess it's fucking.
Oh,
One
of
of the
course there's
members
some
were
music with
found
it.
dead. Yeah, of course. Oh, who's one of the deceased had recently engaged and was scheduled to marry. Yeah, they're just dancing away.
Hmm. Strange. Or maybe the father was in. This is a stretch. This is a stretch. I don't even know. But hear me out. This is kind of conspiratorial, but hear me out. Maybe the father and the son or the son. It could be and or. Were involved with an occult entity, maybe offering up their family as a sacrifice to some type of dark society. Uh, Dark societies aren't unheard of. It's debated of whether or not it was true, but there was the Great Kali cult, and they basically worshipped by committing assassinations and such. You know,
Yeah.
they're the thuggies. You know, that's the thuggies, and they were the enemy in the Indiana Jones 2 movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was based off of some other things, which, but also we don't know if they were really a thing, like, or if they were exactly how we know them to be, because a lot of it was British propaganda. When you know about how savage the locals were, and you know how good it is that they're ruling over India. So, you know, hard to say, but those type of things, you know, that could be a thing. It definitely has enough of a presence in India to be rumored. And one of the descriptions about thuggies is that they would just like commit like random assassinations as an homage to Kali.
Well, you know who brought the 6 stool? There was actually 6 stools, so the grandmother was gonna get hung.
Mm.
Two of they have footage of literally them
Oh,
bringing the fucking stools. 2 of the people bringing the stools in.
you know what? Maybe what happened was, yeah, like they're planning it out. Maybe she just chickened out on at the last minute.
And they was like, no, there's no backing out. Once you're in, you're
Yeah,
in.
yeah. Like, oh no, you're just freaking out because it's happening. You're gonna want it to happen. We're just gonna get it over with. I'll just get it over with. That's usually the type of mentality is. It's like, oh, we'll just get it over with. You know, it's like pulling a tooth. You know, because obviously these people weren't in their right head. They're not
Yeah,
thinking that death is a
clearly not.
finality. You know, if anything, they're
But
thinking that death
now,
is a new beginning. You know.
now, who says though, right? The diaries that were found, and this is the biggest stretch ever. But who says the 11 diaries with the scribbled notes, the detailing? Oh my god. Blindfolds and gags baffled the investigators after they discovered 11 scribbled with notes detailing the situation.
I would
So
like
yeah,
to know if each
what if
of
a
the
serial
writings
killer?
matched the person.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like I want to, I need to know, I need to see these diaries because I want to examine the writing and everything. Because what if all 11 diaries were written by the same person? And more importantly, what if none of the diaries were written by any of the family members, and literally it's just some weird like red herring left behind
It would be
to throw off investigations.
I definitely, you already opened that it was a stretch, and I'm thinking that since writing and shit like that, like matching people's writing is as old as fucking time. Like that's one of the oldest tricks in the book of like any type of detective work since 1700s,
Yeah,
you
but they're
know.
not really. But
That
you're
was something they used with Jack the Ripper, you
yeah,
know, tried to use
which
with
is
Jack the
full,
Ripper.
which is understandable. But you got to
To
think
to to be,
this
I'm
is
just saying to be able to copy 11 different people's,
no. I'm not saying
you
that.
know,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, what if the handwriting and the diaries all like all the diaries, all the handwriting and all the diaries all should look completely different, right? What if
yeah.
it's now there is a slight possibility you look at these diaries and it's all written by the same person.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, that that would be the first thing that the cops would recognize. Like any, like even some of the
Yeah, but
shittiest cops.
if they're chalking this up to mass suicide, they're not looking for little details like that to pin it
Hmm.
on a murder. They're looking for they're looking for ways. They're reading these diary. They're just reading them and being like, oh, this is literally detailing what's going on. Obviously, suicide.
Hmm. Okay.
So they wouldn't necessarily be looking at the handwriting and going, this looks like the same handwriting. Which is fully understandable. I don't expect them to do a full-blown investigation on something where it's chalked up
Hmm.
to being a suicide. It's just there's so much to this that makes my brain just scream not mass suicide.
Hmm.
Just the disorganization of the crime scene, the sudden sporadicness of it. It just I need to know more, and there's no way for me to know more because they stopped their investigation because case closed.
Hmm. Hmm.
That was a nice little thing to cover, though.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That this is definitely something we got to come back to because I feel because this is relatively new, so
Hmm.
not as many articles and people have researched this as things that
Yeah.
happened like 20 years ago. So once thing comes to more light, I like how the brother was touting that he was possessed by the father, though.
Yeah, that's what I. That's why I thought like that the father was sort of the ringleader from beyond the grave. Was that he poisoned the mind of his kid? Because I think didn't they mention that the father was suffering from delusions before he died? Isn't that a key thing? Was it not? 'Cause I thought I read that earlier. I don't remember hearing you read that though.
No, he just said, but the after his father's death, it turned Lilette into becoming a very introverted person. He just
So
became a weird.
then it was all
He became
stemming from him.
he became
If he,
extremely
yes.
depressed.
Hmm.
Oh, excuse me. One second. Oh, I hate that I didn't catch the first sneeze.
Oh. Hmm. I wonder what other short ones I have.
And there's something on the dog too. I think they poisoned the dog
Oh
because
yeah, it was.
it was convulsing at the fucking, and then it just died of a heart attack 21 days later. I mean, that's very long for poison to act, but
I mean, a heart attack. They could actually trauma could totally kill a dog later.
yeah. Well,
Even with
what I'm saying is they attempted to poison the dog, and the dog didn't die from it, and the traumatic experience of being poisoned, just the dog
mm,
couldn't take it,
yeah. But also,
or it
when
was
the
a
Mary
witness,
Queen of
or
Scots got her head cut off. Oh, what?
I was about to say, or it fucking like had to witness its family get brutally massacred.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Cause when the Mary Queen of Scots got her head chopped off, she actually had her dog with her, and it was like I think just a couple days later when the dog just like died, just
Man,
like and it was just known to be always at her side, like she was always carrying it around. So that type of split can fuck them up. It's not like their brains can really understand exactly what's going on. Sort of beyond their comprehension.
yeah.
Other than they know that violence is happening.
I'm just constantly trying to find more, but there's no more it can find. You definitely suggested a very enticing subject, that's for sure.
Yeah. Nice. I'm glad I grabbed that one.
Like, there's. The mystery continues. Almost 3 days after 11 members of a family were found dead, it is not clear. Police vision. That was an article, literally. That was not made 3 days ago. That was made fucking years ago. That was made 2 years ago. Thank you very much. Don't you give it to him.
I'm already just spamming O. Because I didn't even know what he was gonna give me. I didn't want to deal with it.
Yep. I'm not the only one. The open door. Everybody. A lot of
Mhm.
articles are focusing on that open door.
Oh yeah, like, and also one theory they had could be like the setting up, like maybe everything was going good and smooth in the house, and then like the grandma screamed in the room. They ran, strangled the grandma, and then ran out the door. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
said,
Yeah. It was
that
definitely.
that does make sense.
Definitely. Something was going down. I wish there's one there's this one fucking picture that's of a different angle, but it's blurred. No matter what I find, it's blurred for some reason. Like
Mm.
I can find the one angled picture, but the other angled picture is it's no matter where I find it. I can't believe I gotta.
I'm
Like,
gonna need to put a
stop
little check
blurring
by
them.
them.
It's your go, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is the point in posting them if you're just gonna blur
It's
them
your
out?
go now. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Burari deaths. Putting a check by that.
Put something beside the check, because that's one we're gonna come back to.
Oh yeah.
Put like like a check and a star. You're gonna have to make a key to.
I'll just do the star. Let's come back to.
Recovered handwritten notes. So, police recovered handwritten notes about obtaining salvation. Found in 2 registered. How
Obtaining
Fox
salvation.
have Fox the investigators who, yeah.
They were Hindu, right?
Well, they attaining salvation found in 2 registers. Yeah, they're Indian. Was preparing for a wedding.
I mean, that doesn't, because there's pretty big Christian communities now in India.
Pipes.
Because they have a lot of mission work there.
Oh my God! They claimed that the 11 pipes jutting out the side of the wall of the house have an occult meaning.
What?
Yeah, apparently there were 11 pipes sticking out the house that have an occult meaning, apparently.
Oh shit, isn't that the amount of years when the dad died?
Yeah.
And then they killed themselves? Is 11. Yeah.
It's very weird, 11 keeps popping up.
So that's twice. How many? Let me see. Let me look at the amount of victims again.
There's 11 bodies, there has been 11 years, and there was 11 fucking pipes on the side of the building.
Shit, there's 11 bodies, you said.
Yeah.
This is sounding a little bit more organized than we thought then. Because then there is some patterns here.
Yeah, there definitely fucking is.
And it would be super crazy if a serial killer like, happened to stumble on this OCD serial killer's dream of 11s everywhere.
So that kind of debunks my theory.
So I am thinking it's sort of a half mass suicide. I think it's sort of a Jim Jones situation when there's willing parties and unwilling parties.
Well, there was only one unwilling party apparently.
Do we know that though? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like I wish they had more. Like, is there signs of struggle? Like defense wounds on someone, you know what I mean? Like that's the type of information we need. Is like were they bruised? Were like?
Yeah, that's really what we need to know.
And especially with the grandma too, it's like she was only strangled, right?
Yeah, it says it just mentions strangled.
And it doesn't show any of the pictures, so I don't know if she's like sitting. It'd make a big difference if she was sitting in a chair. If she was sitting in the chair, or if she's on the ground. That's like a big difference too, because if she's like sitting in her chair, that seems a bit more of a peaceful thing of like, oh, grandma's sitting in her chair, just gonna,
Alright, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I'm about to send you a photo of the pipes. Just to show you, now this is a major fucking shred. There's no pattern or nothing, except for the fact that 2 pipes, 1 pipe is like way off. 9 of the pipes are all together. Well, 8 of the pipes are all together, and 2 of them are like off to the side. Oh, it's not gonna. I'm just gonna send you this link then.
Wait for it to
Oh,
load.
fuck.
There we go. Getty Images.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, the poor little dog. Well, they gotta show the dog. Looks sad. Okay, what was I looking at? The pipes?
Yeah, the pipes.
Where are the pipes?
It should have 2 photos.
It's got a bunch that are non-pipes. It's got 16 photos that aren't pipes. I'll just type it in the thing. Let's see.
I literally was just staring at the same website.
I think Getty
It's
Images
literally
is-
just pipe. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's literally the 4th picture down on Getty. It's
That's
just them
pipes.
sticking. It's just them sticking. It's just the ends of the pipe sticking out.
Let's see. Red pipes.
I'm just gonna screenshot it to you then.
Oh, I see it.
I was
got
about
it.
to say, like, you're driving me nuts.
Yeah, I got it. Huh.
1 second. 1 second. Sugar's just constantly scratching at my door for no fucking reason. She won't come in when I open it.
Yeah, the pipe is strange.
Yeah, I don't... It's definitely a weird angle to go on.
Mm-hmm. Definitely some weird coincidence.
Yeah, to
If
be
there are
honest,
coincidences.
I wholeheartedly want to think... this is the theory that I'm going to stick with. It was a BTK type killing. Grandma walks in on it, freaks out, gets strangled. Buddy freaks out and runs out the door before he can finish what he started. Because what happened was he literally was just grabbing him and doing it where he grabbed him. Because if I'm not mistaken, there is a good human... Yeah, there is a human-sized armoire right fucking there that someone could literally just be hiding in.
Huh?
In the photo with that shows the 5 people hanging, there's literally a fucking armoire literally right there that's taller than all of them that someone easily could just hide in.
Oh yeah.
And of course, like I said, you hold someone at knife or gunpoint, you know.
that footage of them bringing in the stools is weird though.
Yeah, they just brought in, they're just randomly bringing in the stools.
Because you'd think one of them would try to go out and get help if they're just allowed to go out and get the stools. Like a
Yeah,
run for it,
but
anything
maybe
like that.
now maybe that they were getting the stool because they was planning on a wedding, so maybe they were just getting the stools for like a future event. Of,
Possibly. But it looks like it's straight up just like at night too.
yeah,
I don't know. It seems like some weird abrupt like something just broke. You wake. I don't know. There's something odd about that.
It's just the reason why I don't say because usually there's a ton more organization with it. But
With an actual organized cult though. You're thinking of a
I'm
cult
thinking
though,
more
but
a
like
cult.
this is this is something that's more isolated, you know.
Yeah, this is probably just a case of mass psychosis that that's never been on this scale before.
Yeah, and that's yeah, because then that's why specifically with these types, it was saying that like because like the delusion of the Australian family was that all the other farmers were gonna come and kill them for their like berry farm, and so they all fucking ran
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, and then
Yeah, remember that? Yeah,
yeah.
so but he explained it. It's like the something that they could be saying could make zero fucking sense, but it makes sense to fucking them. It's
Yeah, I gotcha.
so like just because like it's disorganized, like it could seem way more organized to the person at that time. In that panic, in that weird
Yeah.
state.
I don't know, I just feel when it comes to suicide, your materials that you would use and everything is different. It's just the face covering and the tying of the hands is
Because
just.
this is just, but like your typical suicide though is
This is.
I hate myself or I don't want to
Yeah.
live anymore. I'm going to kill myself. This is an
And.
atypical type.
Yeah,
This isn't.
there is ritual behind it because they're tying their hands and covering their face.
Mm,
Like if it was just we're just going out because we lost the patriarch of you think it would just be let's kill ourselves.
though I am
And
just gonna make a little research note about ritual suicides.
they was planning a wedding, like someone was engaged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
And they just all of a sudden decide to go along with just okay, time to execute the plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's why I feel this wasn't this was forceful.
Mm. It's definitely confusing. It seems like there's.
And I want to know
I
who
don't know.
built. I know it has. I want to know who built the house because then it would definitely explain those fucking 11 pipes.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that 11's gonna be our 23.
Yes. Number 11.
That fucking 11 just keeps popping up.
And every time we'll have like a passing thought about 11, and we'll check our watch and we'll see that it's 11:11.
Oh my god.
And squint our eyes. Suspicion.
Oh, dude. My phone is on 11%.
Oh, what?
Oh, fucking A. That.
It begins. Love.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going to add for as a researching point to find cool things, ritual suicide, because I want some more insight on sort of
Bid.
ritualistic
Bid.
suicides.
Bid.
Oh yeah, even strange suicides in general, any type of absurd one,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
excessive. That's a good one for the future.
It has nothing like this, but mysterious deaths like that one girl that was found in the water tank
Oh,
really intrigued me.
mm,
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
no.
There's this girl. There's footage of her in the elevator that was found in. I forgot where it was, but there was some hotel that found like they were having problems with their water, and people kept complaining, and then they finally went to go check the water tank, and it turns out there was a fucking corpse in the water
Oh,
tank, and
ew.
they have footage of the girl in the elevator, and like she keeps looking out of the elevator like weirdly, and it's just weird, like she's got weird erratic behavior, and she just
Mm,
disappears.
weird. So she like went into the elevator, then like climbed out of the into the inside of the elevator, and then like went into the
No,
water tank.
no, she like she, something happened like beyond the point where she's in the elevator and getting into the water tank is unknown.
Hmm.
Like it's they don't know what happened. Like they just have the elevator footage, and then she walks out the elevator.
Hmm.
If it, it's weird. But yeah, the water tank was on the roof.
Ooh. Wonder how loud it was. Cause I mean, it's not the mystery part. It's pretty much known what happened. But I know that there was this awful case of and it was like in a gas station or 7-Eleven or such. One that had its own freezer anyway. But I forget why the dude was there, but like if he was if he dropped something or doing maintenance or something weird like that, but he fell like in between the wall and the freezer and
Huh.
got jammed into the middle, and the freezer was so loud that no one could hear his screams.
Oh
So
fuck.
he just went missing. No one knew where he was. That was a place that no one went, and it was I think he was like it was basically like mummifying him, like from just being that like it was cold too, just
Yeah.
being pressed up on it.
Oh shit.
So he was just wedged forever, like until like he was discovered like a long time after, like long dead after, which was must have been fucking
Horrifying.
horrifying. Yeah,
Holy shit. What a way.
yeah, and it's like not. I think like the cherry on top of it is not just the slow agonizing like dying slowly of starvation or whatever is the boredom too.
Oh man.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like anytime that you calm down, then you just get bored.
Oh yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
I mean, like, I feel like that would just lead to just some type of like real anger. Like that's totally gonna fuck you up too.
Yeah, that would lead to some real bad psychosis, I feel.
Mm, I think that's in some ways almost worse than some of the maybe some of the more brutal deaths I've heard of like serial killers and stuff do, you know.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be burned alive. I would.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be one of the most painful things, but
It's the
it'd be over faster.
you got painful, but not for
Mm,
that long period
very
of
long.
time. Yeah, because your nerve
You,
endings would fry.
yeah. I think what's
once your
worse
nerve endings are
is the
gone,
electric
you're
chair.
pretty much good.
Electric chair is worse, I think, than burning alive is electric
Oh
chair.
yeah, dude,
Because
that's
it's basically just activates all your nerves at once.
yeah.
But I'd probably still take electric chair over getting cramped in a little corner for years, or for the amount of days it's going to take for me to starve or dehydrate.
Ooh.
At least you don't sit in the electric chair for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, for sure. That
As your body's trying to stay alive, it's kind of the insult of it too. You know, it's kind
yeah,
of like, what's
totally
the point?
understand.
It's like, wish you could just turn like an auto off button,
Yeah,
you
just
know?
switch everything off.
Oh, because there was something like that, and like that's what Shock's supposed to do, but
Yeah, well,
there was
yeah.
that awful story about that. I just listened to it recently on last pod about the concrete girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about that little sadistic little like teenage like kid that like kidnapped the high school girl
Mhm.
and like had it, you know, and just kept her at like in his basement at his parents' house. Then his parents like suspected something, but they didn't do anything because they're scared of him
Yeah,
because he was such a
he had
little fucking
fucking
psycho.
he wasn't he it wasn't just him. He had
He
two
had
friends with him.
cronies too.
He
He
had
had
little two
cronies, yeah.
fucking cronies with him.
hmm I think they were older than him too.
But they were slower than him, so
Yeah. Got some stupid muscle, stupid sadistic muscle. But yeah, but she was alive for a long time. Through like all that shit. That was probably the worst shit. I think that topped anything I've heard any of the serial killers do so far. Maybe,
yeah, they put that girl through fucking under. They literally fucking used her as a fucking basically their own science experiment.
yeah.
They did their own equivalent to the Nazis, and you're gonna have to give me some fucking cash, dude.
Oh no.
No, no, because you are stacked.
Oh. I actually haven't been paying attention at all. I've just been pressing X this whole time. This is the first time I'm looking at my money. Though I don't seem to have a lot of properties.
No, everybody's kind of bought everything up.
Well, there's your money. Oh, that's not you. If you can't.
Everybody owns one railroad. The 2 utilities are bought up. The 2 browns are bought up. 1 cyan's available. 1 orange is available, and that's it.
Damn. Oh, you're doing fine. You got a monopoly.
Yeah. And I just hit go, so I was thinking if I landed on Buddy's Reds, I'll have to trade you something. My green and my railroad. I'm actually kind of just want to wind down from that don't really want to get into anything else.
Mm. Though, if you did, I would suggest the bear one since there's no mystery with it. It's pretty much just like a brutal bear attack.
Straightforward bear attack,
Yeah.
I might, send me the bear.
Yeah. In my turn.
You gotta roll first. Oh, you landed on the last cyan.
There we go. Alright.
Oh, you're the last person that needs $8. Come on, 8 or 9, 8 or 9. Man.
I didn't want to type it out, so I sent it to you.
That's fine. But I will be right back. I won't, you won't be able to hear me, but I will be able to hear you. Tell me when it's my turn.
Okay. It is your turn, so start clicking X. You are landing on my orange. Oh no, Tex-Mex is orange. You're paying 16. And I'm gonna press X. There you go. Sanak's rolling some bullshit. He's going to his own property. Fucking Tex-Mex. Got a double 10. Be a little bitch. Looking at him. A literal bitch. Yeah, MySpace. Ah, shit.
Had to use the bathroom.
You good?
Oh, fuck off.
Nothing succeeds like success.
The Sankebetsu brown bear incident.
Sankebetsu.
Sankebetsu.
Yes. Probably not exactly, but it's close enough. Unless Roku Sensawa is easier for you. Just say it confidently, like a weeb. Sankebetsu.
Sankebetsu
Sankebetsu.
was the worst bear attack in Japanese history, killing 7 settlers in Rokusensawa, Sankebutsu, Tamanoan, Ramui, Hokkaido, Japan.
Yeah, I think it all spanned in different areas.
Yeah. The incident took place between December 9th and December 14th, 1915, after a large brown bear woke up from hibernation and repeatedly attacked several houses in the area.
An angry bear, a sleeping volcano, force of nature just awaking and annihilating a family,
This is the
couple families.
Sankebetsu brown bear incident. The prelude. At dawn in mid-November 1950, a Usuri brown bear appeared at the Akaido family's house in Sankebetsu.
And to explain what I believe is a Usuri bear, is it basically, and I didn't know this actually until just a little bit ago when I looked this up, is their equivalent to a Kodiak grizzly bear. Like it's a huge, it's massive, and they live in Japan.
Oh, okay. And
They have little forests with bears.
Buddy handed Seneco the game.
Oh, of course he did.
Alright, so at dawn in mid-November 1950, a Usuri brown bear appeared in the Akaido family's house in Sankebetsu, Rokusowo, about 11 kilometers inland from the west coast of Hokkaido. The surprise encounter panicked the family horse, but the bear fled after taking only harvested corn. In those days, Nebraska was newly settled, and enrichment by wild animals was not uncommon. Encroachment. On November 20th, 1950, the bear reappeared, worrying about the safety of the horse. The head of the Akaido family called on his second son, Kamataru, and two Madigi from his own village and neighboring village. When the bear reappeared on November 30th, they shot it but failed to kill it. The next morning, they followed the bear's footprints, which led towards Mount Onishukia. Along the trail, the hunting party discovered bloodstains, but a snowstorm forced them to turn back. They believed that the bear, having been injured, would now fear humans and would no longer raid settlements.
Or would he learn to hate humans and get his sweet revenge? Don't fuck with bears.
Alright, so let me get my other phone, because this phone's dying. Sankebetsu bear. Alright. So on December 9th, 1915, at 10:30 a.m., the giant brown bear turned up at the home of the Oda family, Mayu, the farmer's wife, and Hasuma Miko, a baby being taken care of by Mayo, were at the house. Maiko was bitten on the head and killed. Mayo fought back, apparently by throwing firewood, and tried to escape. She was overtaken, knocked down, and dragged into the forest. According to contemporary descriptions, the scene resembled a slaughterhouse with blood puddled at the farmhouse floor. Oof.
Man, it's gotta fucking suck getting mauled.
Yeah, by a bear. Have you not seen The Revenant?
No, I actually haven't.
That's he definitely deserved an Oscar before that, but that definitely got him his Oscar. Let's just say if they didn't give his fucking Oscar, Leonardo DiCaprio, an Oscar for The Revenant, they were picking on. They're definitely just picking on him.
Yeah.
It's a damn good film, and he's the one that made it.
I didn't see it.
It could be on probably. You gotta look on Netflix, Hulu, or you gotta actually watch that pretty soon. It's a good. Oh, and it's a wintry. It's a winter kind of. It's based in the winter, so it's a good nice little time period. Nice little time to watch it, actually.
Yeah. Nice hot cocoa. Settle down under the Christmas tree in the fire and watch a man get mauled by a bear viciously. In the snow.
Alright. So. On December 10th, a search early in the morning, Saito Ishiguro and Mayuko Yoshitoro left the village on their respective errands. Meanwhile, a search party comprising of 30 men was organized to capture the black bear and recover the remains of Mayo. This group entered the forest and had advanced no more than 150 meters when it met the brown bear. 5 men shot at the bear, but only one managed to hit it. The enraged animal nevertheless retreated, and the men escaped injury. After the bear had fled, the hunters scouted the area and discovered dried blood on the snow at the base of a Sakhalian fir tree Sakhalin fir tree beneath the snow was the corpse of Mayo, with only the head and parts of the leg remaining. It was thus proven that this particular brown bear had attacked the Odo family. Returned to the Odo farm, the bear had stashed the body of Mayo in the snow in an attempt to preserve it, as well as to hide it from scavengers. The villagers believed that once the bear had a taste for human flesh, its return to the settlement was assured. Villagers gathered at the Odo's family with guns. Around 8 p.m. that night, the bear reappeared. Although the villagers had anticipated the bear's return, they were nonetheless panicked by it. One man did manage to shoot at the bear. By the time the corpse of 50 guardsmen posted 300 meters away at the neighboring Maiko house arrived, the bear had vanished into the woods. The corpse reassembled and headed downstream on what was thought to be the bear's trail. The Miyuki family.
Damn.
Yeah, Miyuki family.
This bear's just running around and taking out everybody.
Yeah, just
They're running away.
Miyuki family. When news of the Oda family attack was first received by the Miyuki family, women and children sought refuge there, gathering in fear at the hearth fire while guardsmen patrolled outside. The guardsmen were having dinner when news of the bear return to the Odo family farm reached them, and they marched off. The bear, having escaped death of the Odo family, now fled to the Miyuki homestead. Yayo, Mayuko Yositaro's wife, was preparing a late meal while carrying her fourth son, Yumikiko, on her back. She heard a rumbling noise outside, but before she could investigate, the bear broke through the window and entered the house. The cooking pot on the hearth was overturned, dousing the flames, and in the ensuing panic, the oil lamp was
either
put...
counteroffer or accept. Just let you know. Continue.
In the ensuing panic, the oil lamp was put out as well, plunging the house into darkness. Yayo tried to flee the house, but her second son, Yoriko, clung to her legs, tripping her as she ran. The bear attacked her and bit Yumikuro. Yumikiko. Odo had remained at the house as the only bodyguard. When he ran for the door, the bear released the mother and child to pursue him. Yayo would then escaped with her children. Odo attempted to hide behind furniture but was clawed in the back. The bear then mauled Kinzu, the third son of the Miyuki family, and Hariyoshi, the fourth son of the Saito family, killing them, and bit Ayo, and the third son of the Saito family. Next to be target was Taiki Sayoto, Ishigoro's pregnant wife. She too was attacked and killed and eaten. From later testimony, villagers heard Taiki begging the bear not to touch her belly, but instead to eat her head. Later, the fetus was found alive from her corpse, but died shortly after.
Damn.
Holy shit.
What do you do with that fetus?
No, there's nothing you can do about it, but that's crazy that the he tore the fetus out and like it still lived.
Mm-hmm.
And he just went on a fucking spree.
It was all after he got shot at, because the first thing it did was to steal some carrots. And then it got shot at, and then...
The baby got it.
honestly, it's not even a
Didn't
revenge.
you
I don't even think
escape?
it's like a revenge thing. I think getting shot and then having that room would just make it more agitated, and
Yeah,
then more likely to attack, and then it attacked, and then got the taste for
human
like,
flesh,
oh, I
and
actually like
it
this.
crazed it.
And that's actually pretty rare still. I mean, it's definitely can happen. It's not like it's a super rare thing. It's just the usually it would if you didn't fight back and just kind of curl up into like a little ball, put your back up. Usually it would just, especially with brown bears, they'd lose interest. You
Yeah.
know, they're more territorial. They're more about showing their dominance. There's a
Alright.
specific type of year that they can be more likely to eat you. It is when they wake up from hibernation.
Alright, so
Um, because they are basically starving in there, and that's when they have the most consumption of meat too.
and there's
Because they need all that
yep.
protein.
But
So, and it said that this was interrupted in its hibernation, right?
no. It just came out
Okay.
of its hibernation.
Okay, then that totally explains it. Yeah,
Okay, so
that's the worst time
alright.
to be
I
confronted with
got
a
more to
bear.
read. I got more to read.
Gotcha.
The guardsmen who had tracked the bear downriver realized that they were not, in fact, on its trail. As they hurried back to the settlement, a seriously injured uh, Yayo met them and relayed news of the attack on the Mayuki's family's house. The corpse raced there to rescue any survivors. When they arrived, the house was dark, but sounds of an attack emerged. Believing that the bear had killed everyone inside, but sounds of an attack emerged. Didn't they? Doesn't that mean the bear is still attacking people? Believing that the bear had killed everyone inside, some of the guardsmen proposed setting the house on fire. Yayo, hoping that some of the children still alive, forbade this. The guardsmen divided into two groups. One consisting of 10 men stood guard at the door while the other group went to the back of the house. When given a signal, the group at the rear set up a racket, shouting and rattling their weapons. As expected, the bear appeared at the front door. The men there had bunched up with lines of fire blocked by the guard at their head, whose own rifle misfired. Amid the general confusion and risk of crossfire, the bear escaped into the night. Carrying torches made of birch bark, they entered the house and beheld the results of the attack. Oh, thank Lord. Rikazuki and Hisino, first son and daughter of the same relatives, were injured but lived. The village people gathered in the school, and seriously injured people were accommodated in the Toshi family house near the river. In 2 days, 6 people had lost their lives, one of them pregnant. After the incident, only veterans of the Roshi
Press X.
Japanese War remained at their posts. So 6 people have died to this bear so far.
Yes.
Yamamoto, Hikiko, and Kasage. Meanwhile, Sataito Ishigo, unaware of his family's fate, filed a report with authorities and the district police before returning to Tamiko and lodging at a local hotel there. Mayuko Yaruso had heard that a man named Yamino Hiriko was an expert bear hunter and so paid a visit to his house. Yamamoto was certain that the bear was Kasikage, and the and diagonal slash from the shoulder, which had previously been blamed from the mauling and deaths of 3 women, but by now he had pawned his gun for money to buy alcohol and refused Mayuko's request for aid. Unable to return home, Yoshitaro stayed in Onishika. Oh shit. So after his family attacked, he said, fuck it, I ain't going back.
Nope. I wouldn't either.
Alright, December 11th. On December 11th, Maiko, Yoshitaro, and Sona returned to... Oh, they did return.
Oh.
Returned to Sankebetsu, noticing the villagers gathered at the branch school. The two pieced together the story of the mauling. A group of men, including Maiko and Sori, was formed to kill the bear. Believing that the bear who reappeared, they decided to wait for the bear and Miyuka's residence, but the night passed with no attack. Alright, December 12th. The news of the bear's appearance in Sankebetsu reached the Hokkaido government office, and under the leadership of the Haboru, now Haboru Town Branch Police Station, a sniper team was organized. Guns and volunteers for the team were gathered from nearby towns, and after getting permission from Teiushi Ryo Yayuki, the Imperial Forestry Agency, the sniper team went to Sankebetsu that evening. Chief Inspector Sagu, the branch office commissioner, went up to Ratsukusau with the aim of viewing the Mayuki family house and assessing the state of the sniper team, and met all those who got off the mountain pass. The brown bear did not appear on December 12th. Thinking of the future, the team decided to exterminate the bear, even if they had to mobilize every possible resource. It was decided that the bear would most probably try to retrieve the bodies of those it had killed, but there were no remains in the Miyuki family house.
Serial killers always revisit.
Therefore, a new
But I
plan
understand
was
that.
proposed
Yeah.
to attempt to lure out the bear with the corpse of a victim. The plan was widely condemned, especially by Ado, Sayuta, and Mayuki families, but it was decided that for the future of the village, it was the best plan. Within the day, the strategy was executed. The 6-member sniper team, which now included Yamamoto, waited inside the house, but the bear stopped, appeared to check the inside of the house, and then returned to the 4th. The bear did not appear again that night, and so the plan ended in failure. The fucking bear smelled y'all. Exactly
Yeah,
what fucking
definitely.
happened.
They know when not to get into something that they can't handle.
I might bankrupt.
Oh shit.
But first,
You need some money?
no, I'm going to do that. And you have no money.
That's why I was laughing.
Hold on, hold on. And for $1.
Oh shit. I decline.
Giving you a fighting chance. Alright, so it's probably gonna get really loud for me because it's raining now.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, did I finish that? Yep, at the finish. Right. December 13th. At dawn, a search team discovered that the Oda family's house was ransacked. The bear had eaten the people's winter food stockpile and ransacked the houses. The bear had damaged at least 8 houses, but so far no one could find it. Suigo motivated the men by cheering for the village outside. Given that there were now 60 armed men, it was decided that they should hunt in the surrounding mountains. Kasakage now seemed to lack prudence and stretched its territory downstream. The police captain Soiga recognized the increasing risk of the situation. He made an ice bridge as a line of defense, then arranged snipers and guards. That night, a sniper at the bridge thought he saw something in the shadows of the tree stumps on the opposite shore. Receiving this information, Soiga thought it might be a man's shadow. When he spoke to it, however, he received no reply and ordered the snipers to open fire. At that moment, the shadow, apparently that of the bear, disappeared into the forest. They were disappointed, having failed to kill the bear, but the captain thought he had heard some response from it. What you gonna do?
Oh shit. Oh.
Alright. December 14th. The next morning, a team investigated the opposite shore and found a bear's footprint and blood there. Given that Kisakage had again been wounded and the imminent snowstorm was threatening to cover any tracks, it was decided that this was the most critical opportunity to hunt down and kill the bear. Yamamoto and Aikido Kamijuro, a guide, immediately set out after the bear. Yamamoto decided to track the bear with a team of 2 as it would be quicker than a larger team. Yamamoto was familiar with Kisagage's behavior and successfully tracked him down. Yamamoto spotted the bear resting near a Japanese oak. He approached it within 20 meters of the bear and shot at it. His first shot hit the bear's heart and the second shot hit its head, fatally wounding the animal. When measured, the bear was 340 kilometers or 749 pounds and 2.7 meters or 8.85 feet tall. Necropsy was carried out on the bear, during which parts of his victims were found in his stomach. While at the time the skull and some of the fur of the bear were kept, they later were lost. No traces of Kesegage were left. The aftermath. Gaio, who received head wounds in the attack, made a full recovery, but Miyoki, who was bitten by the bear while being carried on his mother's back, died less than 3 years later from the wounds he had suffered. Odo recovered from injury and returned to work, but next spring he fell into a river and died. After the attack, most of the villagers of Rokusunu soon left, and it rapidly transformed into a ghost town. Haruyoshi, who was 7 years old and the son of the Sabutsuku village mayor at the time of the incident, grew up to become a prolific bear hunter. He swore an oath to kill 10 bears for every victim of the attack. By the time he reached the age of 62, he had killed 102 bears. He then retired and constructed the Bear Harem Sanaf, a shrine where people can pray for the dead villagers. Taiyukishi Hayashi-san, in 1980, after an 8-year chase, hunted down a 50-kilometer brown bear who was nicknamed the North Sea Taro.
Hmm.
Beginning in 1961, an archaeological and forestry technical officer, Kamimaro Meritak, who was working in the district forest office in the Ashioka Kanespis, undertook an examination of the case in order to leave a permanent record of it. 46 years had already passed and little official material was left, so Kamen traced the people who had lived in Sankebetsu in those days and made careful records of their stories. Obtaining a full and accurate picture of events was not possible, as many of the villagers were already deceased and most of the villagers were not cooperative, owing to the gruesome nature of the attack. Kimimaru's account of the attack was reprinted in 1980 and published in 1994's as The Devil's Valley. A Japanese novelist gathered information about the case and wrote about it in a novel.
Ah, shit.
So that is the Sankebetsu brown bear incident.
And that's that. Good job, Sanak. So we got a little bear killing, got a little mysterious killing, or
yeah, a little
yeah.
mysterious thing going, and we finished Ned Kelly.
Yeah, we did. And I'm gonna go to bed because I'm actually falling asleep.
Yeah, I was figuring. Because you stopped reacting.
That's why there'd be some inactivity. For a second, oh. Alright, well.
Hold on. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.